This is the fatherhood experience. Turn it up, cause tonight you'll learn how to leave behind the average dad life. This the fatherhood experience. It's time to lead my family and become the father figure I deserve to be. The fatherhood experience.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fatherhood Experience, where we help overwhelmed fathers build elite confidence through sustainable weight loss and mental toughness. We are your hosts, Jason Priest and Zach Smith, and we have an exciting episode for you guys today. This is going to be an episode that's probably going to hit home for a lot of you, and I know that Zach and I have dealt with this issue in our own life. We're going to dive straight in. I'm going to take 1 second here and just tell you this right off the bat is if you do get value out of today's show, just share the show with one man in your life. We've had a lot of you guys reaching out to us. I've had quite a few emails from our listeners lately saying, hey, man, love the show. Just found you guys. I want to take you up on your offer for LP60. Can you send that over? I want all you guys to know that LP60 is readily available for anybody who wants to complete the challenge. It is a 60-day free program. So go over to thefatherhoodexperience.com/LP60 and get your free copy. You can email me all you want. I'm more than happy to help all of you guys. But that is where you will get your free program. And I'm telling you right now, with Zach and I will both guarantee that if you complete this 60-day program, your life will change drastically. You will be a better man. You will be a healthier man. You will have more confidence and you will be a more disciplined man. So we're going to talk about a topic that Zach and I hear a lot during our day-to-day, and that is the lack of motivation. And we're going to teach you how to cut through that nonsense. And we're going to teach you how to rise above lack of motivation and how you'll never have to need motivation again. So we'll dive in. Zach, where do you want to start with this, my man? Because I will tell you, dude, like we talk about this a lot, and I think there's a lot of angles we could go, but I know that we want to open up with the lack of motivation and then also talk about when times get tough, because we know that adversity is going to smack us in the face at times. And so where do you want to start?
I will start by saying motivation as a long-term strategy for success is the dumbest shit anybody can ever use, because motivation is such a fleeting feeling that before anybody ever achieves anything significant, that feeling is already gone. So It's crazy to me, like knowing that everybody knows motivation is something that comes and goes like nothing, like cockroaches when the light switch comes on, right? That's how fast motivation comes and goes.
Yep.
Yet so many people blame their lack of motivation for their lack of results. So I'm throwing this right back at you. Why the hell do you think that's the case, Jason? Really, why do you think people know that motivation is a fleeting feeling, yet blame lack of motivation for their lack of success? Why the hell do you think that's the case, man?
Well, I think that I'll be honest with you, man. I think that a lot of it has to do with that being a common phrase that's tossed around, right? Like we've done a lot of episodes on this podcast around motivation, and my big punchline is it's not going to show up on your doorstep in an Amazon Prime box, right? Like we live in the immediate gratification world where everything's at our fingertips. You got Netflix, you got Prime, you got DoorDash, you can order your damn groceries. It's all over the map. But the reality is, at the end of the day, man, like you said, it's fleeting. It's not there. It's not reliable. And what we teach our men is to leverage momentum instead, to create your own momentum, because when times get tough, motivation is worthless, right? And so I think that a lot of people blame it on that. Is just, it's easier to say than, I'm not motivated is a lot easier to say than I'm lazy, or I lack discipline, or, I lack mental toughness, right? Like these things are harder to say because like it's an actual insult to you personally, right? Like you're admitting something that you know is true. And a lot of times the truth hurts. But the bottom line is this, is I'm not motivated is such a common term. It's like the perceived lack of time, right? It's like a very common, I just don't have time. I don't have time. Well, guess what? I've got just as much time as you do. And and we know it comes down to time management, right? It comes down to your priorities. If it's a priority, you'll do it. If it's not, you won't. And so when we talk about motivation, there's so many ways that you can go with this, but at the end of the day, man, it comes down to your own discipline, your own mental toughness. And a lot of people will say, motivation will get you started, but discipline is what's going to work for you long-term. The reality is, dude, is if you're counting on motivation to get you started, you might be waiting a really long time. think about how much bad, or how many bad things can happen to you, physical health, mental health, all of that, if you're not working on your own personal development on a daily basis, your own personal excellence, which really a lot of that revolves around health. And so if you're not working at getting healthier and getting better, all because of motivation, then you're in for a long life. Like that's a very very toxic thought pattern if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, no, like I said, motivation as a long-term strategy for success is a recipe for ultimate failure.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the bottom line. I don't think there's really much else to say about that, man. Anybody, you know, and for some reason, if by any chance somebody's listening to this and don't realize that, you're welcome, because we just saved you years of wasted time trying to achieve something that you never will, if that's what you're basing your productivity on, is feeling motivated. Because Jason and I say this many, many, many times, that we do not feel motivated to do many things that have to do with almost everything in life. Because guess what? Life is different every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Our circumstances are different every day. Our mood is different every day. The people we're around are different, which also affect our mood every day. Literally, there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of variables that can happen every single day that's going to determine how you feel about the things you need to do.
Yep.
Motivation, if we're relying on that, those 100,000 variables I talked about are all stepping on motivation. That they are all killing motivation. So like Jason said, you want to win, you need to build momentum. If you want to win, you need to do the things that you know you need to do before you even have a chance at building it. Everybody has this stuff ass backwards. They think that the light bulb has to go off in their head. They think that they have to feel good because they watch an inspirational movie, or they saw an inspirational video or whatever it is. And all of a sudden they're like, yes, now that I'm primed for success, it's time to go because of my motivation. No. That's bullshit. That's a way to start. Sure, that can be the spark, but there are going to be days, and you have to understand that you're not going to want to do these things all the time. You're not going to want to always choose a healthier meal. You're not always going to want to sleep on time because you'd rather finish that movie. You're going to not want to go to the gym sometimes, but the reality is you have to. Like I said, people have it ass backwards. You have to create your own momentum. You have to create your own motivation. And the only way that happens is doing the shit that you don't want to do, but know you need to do to be where you want to be. That's called discipline, guys. When you have discipline, you create motivation, because motivation happens when you see results happening, when you see the results taking, like manifesting, right? And that doesn't just come because you say, yay, I'm going to be lean one day. No, it comes because you made the right choices that's going to allow you to do so. Your physical fitness is a byproduct of the decisions that you make. And those decisions need to be based purely on discipline, because you said, this is what needs to be done. This is what I will do so I can become this person. If it's about motivation, wrong.
We talked about this in our call last night with our fatherhood guys, man, in terms of, your health habits as a whole, they almost have to become robotic, right? They almost have to come to you like you've created these, what we teach is creating a system of non-negotiable priorities, right? Like you're waking up every day, you're operating out of brutal honesty with yourself, because you're a leader. You're leading by example in your own life so that you could lead by example in your children's life. You can lead by example for your family's life, for your friends' life, your coworkers' lives, right? So when you're a dad, it becomes even more important to operate out of a place of discipline instead of motivation. My question for a lot of guys are, what are you teaching your children by not addressing your health because you're not motivated, right? Like, let that sink in, because what you're doing there is you're saying that it's okay to neglect your health or to ignore your health because you're not motivated. So like your health is literally the most valuable thing you have in the world. Like this, I did a whole post on health is wealth the other day, because I remember back when I was fat, dude, and I was 60 pounds overweight, and I would hear that and it would piss me off. It's like, but the truth hurts, right? You think about it, man. Like when you think about getting better as a man, when you think about working on personal development, you think about working on your personal excellence, and you're trying to become the best version of you, right? In all areas of life. And maybe your health is lacking, but your business is good, or your career is good, and family's good. Maybe it could be a little bit better, because if you're overweight, let's be honest, your sex life probably isn't where it could be. Okay. Your confidence, your self-esteem, your attractiveness to your significant other those are all lacking because you're not physically fit. You don't feel good about yourself and you don't love what you see in the mirror. Other people aren't going to feel good about you either or love what they see because they know you're capable of more. They know that you can show up better. And so the point that I'm trying to make here is, what are you also showing your children if you're using I'm not motivated as the reason that you're ignoring your health or that you're not in the shape that you should be at this point in your life? You're telling them that they also can use that as an excuse to then not do other things in their life, right? So now you're leading the way saying, hey, and this is, you're leading the way because they're your kids, but you're not leading by example. You're saying, hey, I ignore my health and I'm 50 pounds overweight. It's because I'm just not motivated to go do the things. I'm not motivated to eat healthier. I'm not motivated to go to the gym. What you're doing then is you're telling your kids, hey, it's okay for you to use I'm not motivated for other things, right? So now you've got your kids waking up and getting ready for school, and they're like, you know what? I'm just not motivated to brush my teeth today, so I'm not going to do that. Or I'm not motivated to do my homework tonight, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm not motivated to go pursue my goals and dreams because my dad said he wasn't motivated to address his health, which I know is the most important thing we have, because without your health, you ain't got shit, right? So think about that as you guys are moving forward in life. When you start to use I'm not motivated as an excuse for anything in life, what example or what are you teaching your children? Because they could take that and run with it, dude. Kids do what you do. They don't do what you say, right? So if you're showing them you don't work out because you're not motivated, well, now they have leverage to not be motivated to do a lot of things. Now, I'm not going to be motivated to go do my chores because you're not motivated to take care of your health. So I'm not motivated to do my chores. I'm not motivated to clean my room. I'm not motivated to go clean up the dog shit in the backyard like you asked me, because I'm not motivated. And you're not motivated to take care of your health, right? You see where this goes? And so it's, health is the topic at hand here. But dude, at the end of the day, like, that's a pretty toxic path to go down when you start really thinking on a deep level. Because dude, when you think about your children taking that, and like, again, your health is the most important thing you have. If you're using lack of motivation for the most important thing you have, well, now it's much easier for them to use it on the least important shit, right? Like, again, like doing their chores, picking up the room, making their bed for the day. They're not motivated. And how can you argue with them if you're saying you're not motivated to address your physical health, your mental health, and all the spiritual health, and all the things that make us whole as a man?
You're right, man. So you said one thing, health is wealth, right? And we hear that all the time. It sounds cliche because everybody says it, but guess what? It is 100% true. Most people just kind of overlook this statement until it applies to them when it's too damn late.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make this point very, very clear. When you ask, because let's pretend we ask 100 random people on the street, Jason, hey man, what is the number one thing? What's most important to you in life? What are you trying to achieve, and what you want the most out of, the most? People usually say money,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm working my job. I work 70 hours a week because I want to make money to provide for my family. I want money. I want money. I want money. Everybody, for some reason, thinks that money is what's most important until they start losing the things that truly are. So for those of you who think that working 70, 80 hours a week or whatever it may be to provide for your family is number one, let me ask you a few questions here. If you think that money is more important than your health, think about this. If I said, I will give you all the money you could have ever imagined, but tomorrow I have to take your spouse away and she dies, will you take the money? No.
Hell
because
no.
you care about love more. You care about your relationship with your wife more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Sure. How about this? I'll give you all the money in the world, but tomorrow I'm going to take your kids away. You'll never see them again. Is money most important there now? No. The relationship with your kid, raising the next generation. I mean, as a species, we are ingrained like to reproduce. That is what we are here to do, right? Just to continue the species of human beings. If I gave you all the money in the world, but tomorrow your best friend, he has to go to the moon, you'll never see him again. Of course, the relationships yet again. And last but not least, man, if I gave you all the money you could ever imagine and hope for, but you have to live the rest of your days sick, are you taking that money?
Hell no.
Hell no. So money's not number one, man. We gotta understand that first and foremost. And I know we're switching this up a little bit, man, but when you say health is wealth, that just triggers a whole nother side of me I want to make this point very, 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 very clear, because Jason, you and I both know, speaking of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of men, many of them always talk about how they need to provide, they need to work, and they need to do everything and sacrifice every damn thing in their, in their very being to provide for their family because of the pursuit of money. But, for some of you that don't know, when you chase money, it runs. That's the way that it works, guys. So a little side note there, man. But I want you guys to understand that money is not everything. Health is truly wealth. Don't take it for granted to the point where you only give a shit about that when you're on your deathbed, or if you get hit with cancer, or if you get extremely sick. Prioritize your shit, guys. Prioritize your shit.
Well, and let's just we'll take that a step further on the health as well thing, because I made a post about it the other day, or yesterday actually. It triggered me. I remember hearing that all the time, and I'm like, dude, like, fuck that, man. Like, I'm focused on, like you said, money. I want to make more money.
Right. Everybody does when we're young, for sure.
Yeah, it sounds great on the surface, right? But then you realize
that's what they teach. That's what they teach us, right? Growing up, dude, when they indoctrinate us in the school system, all they tell us is you need to go to school, you need to go to college, you need to get a good job so you can make a lot of money. That's all they tell us. So that's all we think life is all about. And we neglect everything else that's truly important.
And we know that more than ever now, that the public school system is flat out broken, dude. It's we have pornography in our public schools now at a young age. Like these 10 and 12-year-olds, like we got the sex class. I remember watching that video when I was like in 8th grade or 7th grade. Talked a little bit about sex to let us know. It was like my little virgin ears was like, oh, this is fun, right? We're talking about girls,
like,
and
this is cool.
Penises and vaginas, dude. There's actual porn in schools now. I know that there are. I've seen several. I know in Michigan, the governor there is really having a hard time. They've got these, the race is going on right now with election time in 2 weeks or week and a half or so. So we're recording this on October 26th. So with that said, we know the public school system is broken, all the shit that's going on there. And so we know that can't be what we put we can't count on them to raise our children right. So it's our responsibility as men. And this is a whole nother topic. And we did it a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago, a month and a half ago or so, where it's so important for us to be involved in our kids' education and actually talk to them about what they're learning and really show them the way. But when we go back to the health as wealth thing, dude, like I remember being triggered by that. I remember hearing that. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, I just want to get drunk and play golf and like hang out with my friends and party and like do all that shit until I didn't have my health. Right. Yeah. It's like until I didn't have it. I was young and I was invincible, and then I got fat and I was like, oh shit, man, maybe that health as wealth thing really is kind of important. And so where I'm going with this is here though, is like when you really break it down, like if you look at, you look at the personal development space, you look at the self-help space, like when you're working on your own personal development, what does every single task that anybody that's an expert in this, like if you take, and I'll toss out the guy that I look up to most in business would be Andy Frisella, or you take an Ed Milet, or you take Eric Thomas, or you take any of these guys, Lewis Howes, or any of these guys that are really big into, business and personal development and getting better, right? They help people get better. They help people move forward in life. Go listen to anything they say when it comes to building mental toughness. It comes to building a better healthy lifestyle. Comes to gaining knowledge. Go listen to everything they say, and every single task they give you is going to relate somehow to health, whether it be physical or mental, right? You go to the gym or you do your home workouts. It's a physical health, right? You eat healthy, right? You eat healthy to fuel your body and your brain properly. That's a health thing, right? You read to expand your knowledge and to put positivity into your brain. Guess what? We're back to health again. You work on your family and your relationships, or you work on your relationship with God or your spiritual health, whatever that looks like for you in your life. Guess what? We're back to health again, right? All personal development and all personal excellence, every task they give you comes down to health in some form or fashion. And I think that a lot of people lose sight, a lot of guys, right? It's like we live in a very comfortable world. We live in a society where comfort is what we're drawn to, right? It's like it's at our fingertips. So we were telling our guys last night, it's like you have to go and seek out discomfort. And one of the ways that you do that is by going to the gym. A lot of guys think that the gym is supposed to be like a torture session, to go get rid of 50 pounds in one day, right? When you get started, it's like, well, how do I get this weight off as quick as possible? And in the beginning, it's about your physique, right? I remember when I was starting to gain a little bit of muscle mass and I was losing weight. And I was like, man, my arms are looking good. My chest, I'm the guy that's like glancing at myself in the mirror, doing the little ab check in the mirror back when I was a gym rookie and I started to see abs for the first time. I was like, man, this feels good. But as you go on and as time goes on and you move forward in your journey, you come to realize that it has nothing to do with the physique. Like, yeah, I'm proud of my physique and like, I don't have any plans on going back. But the gym now for me is choosing discomfort so that I can be more comfortable in my life, right? Like we talked about the fat life and the fit life, whatever that looks like. But here's the reality, dude, is the gym is nothing more than a way to sharpen your discipline axe, right? Like that's all you're doing at the gym. Yeah, you're getting physically stronger. It's going to help your mood and your endorphins and all that shit for a day or a day and a half after. But that's all temporary stuff. The work that you're going in and putting into the gym or with your workouts, and you're actually putting yourself in a painful situation, right? Like going to the gym and being on your third set I did back yesterday, being on my third set of lat pull downs. And yesterday I did pull-ups, right? My third set of pull-ups, dude, that 10th, 11th, and 12th rep really fucking sucked. Shit hurt. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this. And I got some like thing going on in my forearm as well, which adds a little bit of extra pain. It's not just muscle pain. I'm like, fuck, this hurts. But you know what? I'm choosing discomfort so that I can continue to sharpen that discipline axe, because if the more that you sharpen that, the easier those gym sessions get. Yeah, you and I aren't motivated every time we go to the gym, but we know what's waiting on the other side, right? We know that it's a daily dose. It's just what we have to do for the day to equal the man that we want to become. And I think that's where a lot of guys go wrong. They view the gym as like, it's exercise. It's like this torturous session, dude. The gym is a place for you to get better in all aspects of your life. And if you start to open up your mind and you start to realize, well, shit, I'm not just here to lift weights. Like I'm here to put myself in an uncomfortable situation because I don't have that in my life anymore. Society doesn't give us the opportunity. We're not cavemen. We're not living off the land. Most of us aren't going out and hunting and fishing for our own fucking food. And so this is a way to force discomfort in your life, because that's how men thrive. That's what builds testosterone. That's what makes us tougher, both mentally and physically. And that's what builds resiliency over time.
You have to, dude, life's hard no matter what, right? We talk about it all the time. It's hard no matter what. So pick a hard, because it's unavoidable. It is absolutely unavoidable. Mm-hmm. All we're doing here is front loading the hard while we're still young, while we're living robust lives, and while we still have the opportunity to do everything that we want to do before getting to like 50, 60, 70, when things truly will tone down just a touch, right? Just a touch. Life is going to be hard no matter what. If you front load the hard now, you're going to live the rest of your life with great discipline and to the best of your, capacity. You're going to live a life that you feel fulfilled with.
It's still going to be hard, right? Still going to be hard.
Of course. It's still going to be hard, but it's going to be a different kind of hard.
Yeah.
A better prepared hard and a different kind of hard.
100%.
So if you front load the hard right now, you are destined to live a life fulfilled. Whereas if you choose easy now, the rest of your life is going to be hard in a different way, in a worse way, because you're going to be on 4 or 5 medications, right? You're going to be diabetic. You're going to be at risk of losing limbs. You're going to be at risk of a heart attack at any moment. You're going to be a ticking time bomb, because regardless of what anybody says, I don't give a shit what the whole, love your body bullshit movement is. Sure, every body,
that shit, man.
Every body is beautiful. Sure, whatever. Like that's fine and dandy and all, but let's not disregard the science. Like there's no such thing as healthy at any size.
No, it's bullshit.
There's no such thing as healthy at any size. If you are young and if you are out of shape and if you have quote unquote good blood work, and I won't even say it in quotes, let's say you have good blood work, so what? It's only a matter of time until that you're just a ticking time bomb is really what it is. Sure, cool. So you maybe you eat relatively healthy food, you just eat too damn much, or maybe you just have really good genetics to the point where you might be offsetting, or you might be prolonging the onset of pre-diabetes, for instance. You're still a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
So cut the motivation bullshit out. Don't wait until it's too late. Quit being like most people and taking their shit for granted. Front load the hard work so we can live a life fulfilled, so we can live a better life. You got to choose your hard, but regardless, life is hard. There's no way around it.
Do you want to be
It's just
fat
like
and out of shape
death
and
and
be on all the
taxes,
meds?
right? They say death and taxes are the two things that we're guaranteed in this life. Well, guess what? Hardship is one of those things too.
Mhm.
Like it or fucking not. So
Yep.
choose, but choose
Yeah.
wisely.
You know, we talk about how you and I aren't motivated, and I want to give an example of that, dude, because I woke up on Monday, and Monday's like generally my favorite day, right? Like Monday, I don't drink anymore on Sundays. I gave that up. I'm not, like I'm a Lions fan, which is really a tough life to live. And I've really checked out. I've already checked out of football season this year. Like
So Sundays are depressing, but Mondays
well,
are
not
good.
anymore. They used to be, and I used to. You're right, because I used to be very involved in that. But you know what I was doing? I was using football as an excuse to drink, and then drowned out. My true I guess Monday blues, right? Like the beginning of the week, like this is a real thing. I had a lady, a writer, reach out to me not long ago about potentially putting some content on our website about the Monday blues being a real. This is like a like an actual thing. Like people, and that's why this party on the weekend thing is such a big deal, because, and that's where majority of the bars obviously make their money, is because people load up on the weekend with booze and sex and porn. I was talking to a prospect the other day, and he said, man, he goes, he's like 5'10", 295. And I was like, dude, like, what's the deal? What do you think your biggest challenge is right now? He goes, man, I use food, sex, and booze to block out reality. And I'm like, well, you sound like most dudes. You sound like most guys out there that I know who use some kind of external source of comfort, like the temporary dopamine hits to make themselves feel better. But then reality hits them in the face again. And it leads to this vicious cycle of like anxiety and depression, on and on and off. Right. And so back to my story, I will tell you that I cut out drinking on Sundays, and I used to get hammered on Sunday. I used to be the guy that would punch a fucking door when the Lions would lose, like, and when they were like a decent team, right? At least like a 9-7
as if you were part owner,
part of the team. Yeah. Like I'm involved.
As if you had a financial
don't even
investment.
know who the hell Jason Priest is, and here I am like punching a door because I'm so emotionally invested in this team. Those days are far gone, by the way. This is years ago. I do not act like an idiot like that anymore. And that is definitely not a way to show your children that this is, you're so emotionally attached to a fucking team who doesn't even know who you are. And all it is, it's $1 billion industry. It's cool to watch for a minute, but like your life is still there waiting on you to live it. Right. And if you're going to try to live your dreams through a football team, and you're basing their success, you're basing your happiness on their success, that's going to be a long life, especially as a Lions fan, but really any football fan, dude. Like, I don't care who you are, right? You get this little Tampa Bay run with Tom Brady. You get the Chiefs run with Patrick Mahomes, right? And they're still good. They'll be good for a while because he's good. But the reality is, dude, they're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, and you're going to find yourself mad more times than not. And so I cut out drinking on Sundays. I got to the point now where like I'll turn the game on. My youngest son, Colin, loves football. Like he's all about sports. Blake, not so much. He'd rather be doing like a project or like doing his own shit. He doesn't really care. But Colin's all about it. He's like, I want to watch football, or, we'll turn on some sports for him. And that's his jam. So I have the game on Sunday, and they played well against the Cowboys for like the first half. And then once they went down by double digits, I'm like, I'm out of here, dude. I got plenty of work to do. I don't drink. I'm not here. I'm not invested in this game at all. They suck. The quarterback sucks. The coach sucks. Like everything sucks. Right. So no, Jason says no. So I put the game on my computer so I could put it in another window and pull up, our Sunday newsletter. I'm working on the newsletter. I'm like, fuck this. I'll have it on in the background. And so that's how my Sundays roll. But I got hit with like a ton of bricks on Sunday, just thinking about like areas of my life where I feel like I'm coming up short. Right. And I started being really hard on myself, and I'm like, damn, dude, like, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do here? I feel like I'm not like living up to my potential as a father, as a husband. And it started just like this weight of the world started coming down on me, because I do have high expectations for myself, as everyone should. Right. And that's why I'm in the physical health that I am, is because I have the discipline to continue to put in the work. But I have this gap that I felt like wasn't being filled in certain areas. And so I wake up on Monday, dude, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do anything today. Like I'm in a point right now where my mental space was not good on Monday, right? And you and I had a conversation about it, and I'm good now. But dude, like this is normal stuff, right? And I did not want to do a fucking thing on Monday. And so gym time rolls around and I'm sitting on the couch. I probably sat on the damn couch in our little, I guess, formal living room or whatever. It's like a sunroom to me because that's where the most sun comes into the house. And I'm sitting there. I probably sat there for 3 hours, just fucking staring at my phone, not even scrolling, just like looking at my phone and like looking down and like thinking about life, dude. Like, how am I going to even get it together today? Gym time rolls around. I see the little notification on my phone. It's for 2 p.m. every day. Get a little 5-minute before the gym notification. That's just me saying, hey, because I don't make it there by 2, but that's saying, hey, you got to get in the shower now and get your ass going because now it's time. And that thing goes off and I wait like another 10 minutes and I'm like, all right, I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't do this today. Like, I don't have it in me. I'm not there. And I haven't done much today. My productivity is down. Like, fuck, man, like this is not me. I made a decision in that moment to change my entire day. And I said, you know what? Today's chest and triceps day. It's my favorite day at the gym. I do 5 exercises and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to go for a walk outside to get some natural sunlight so I can get out of this little funk that I'm in. I went in, I had a good workout. I came home, I went for the walk and I got on with my life. And in that moment, it took everything I had to just get in the shower so that I could get my ass to the gym, right? Like most people are like, why the fuck are you showering before the gym? I shower right before the gym and right after the gym. And then my next shower for the day is not till the following day. And so like right now I'm sitting here, it's 12:30 in the afternoon, my time. I haven't showered for the day yet. So that's coming up. That's on deck before I go to leg day here in a little while. The reason I tell you guys, yeah, it is weird. I'm a fucking weird dude. I ain't trying to say, I'm not denying it. You know that. The point of me telling you this story though, is that I was really going through it and I have times where I still do. We all do, right? We're all human beings. And I'm certainly not on some kind of pedestal just because I'm on a podcast. But what I will say is the experience that I have with working myself out of these mental funks is really why I'm here today with you, is because I've been able to find a way to dig down deep in tough times like that. To the biggest win for me for the day was just getting off the couch and getting into the shower so that I could at least start that process. And when I went to the gym, I came home, I went for my walk outside. I felt like the weight of the world had been lifted off my shoulders, right? And it wasn't because I did the workout. Like that sets the tone for the week. I'm all about momentum Monday, right? I only work out Monday through Thursday. There's no Friday, Saturday, Sunday workout for me. So it was my first weight workout for the week. And it really sets the tone for me. But after that, dude, when I came home and I went for that walk, I was like, dude, everything's going to be all right, man. Like it's all going to be okay. And I can't imagine being in a place where I didn't go to the gym and I just continue to have this pity party and I just continue to feel like shit. And now I got to get up and do it all again the next day. And I very well might be in a worse position than I was on Monday, right? Like the gym is such a magical place to work yourself out of these things, but it's not just the physical exercise piece. Like that was very secondary to me that day. It was about me showing myself that I'm going to follow through with the promises that I make to myself. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get this workout in. I'm going to set the tone for the week because I have a community of men to lead and I'm leading by example. I don't make excuses. I don't yes, I make excuses at times, but for this on a Monday, when I know that this is the most important day of the week for me in terms of my physical health, like I'm getting my ass there and I'm gonna get it done because it's a non-negotiable priority. And so for you guys out there who do go through the challenges like this, right? Maybe you haven't even started at the gym. I will tell you this, and I'll kind of wrap with this and I'll let you chime in here because I know you probably have some thoughts to add there because we all go through this. But going back to what you said earlier, Zach, on the part about, getting started, learning to leverage momentum to start the process. And then motivation follows, right? Because then you start to feel good, you start to look good. Like I've laid this process out, and this is actually in our curriculum as well, but I've laid this process out line item by line item for guys so that they know what to expect. Because in the beginning, dude, you're not going to be motivated. Like obviously when guys come join our program, they make an investment in their health. They're like ready to get rocking. They're ready. They feel sick and tired of being sick and tired. And there's some motivation there, right? But then they still got to do the work. And so it's a little bit different. But for you guys out there that are currently listening, and you maybe you haven't made that investment in your health, or maybe you haven't joined the gym, or you haven't taken that first step, just know that in the beginning, you just got to bite your fucking lip and go make shit happen, because you are going to try to talk yourself out of it. And the more that you talk yourself out of it, the easier it's going to become for you to continue to talk yourself out of it. But the one time that you go, each time after that gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier. And then the first week or so, you're going to get motivation, because you're going to start to feel better. Your body is going to reward you heavily in the beginning, especially if you're quite a bit overweight, because your body's going to latch onto that and be like, holy shit, man, that 20-minute walk you went on, let's do more of that, because I feel really good right now and I have this boost of energy. Then another couple of weeks go by. You start to loosen your belt a little bit, right? You go down a notch on your belt. Your shirts start to get a little bit looser, or if you're lifting weights, they get a little bit tighter in the arms. You start to feel some physical changes. You start to see that in the mirror. You're like, fuck, man, I'm 1 month in and I see some stuff happening here. More motivation. Right now, you've got this constant like stream of motivation, because all these changes are happening. And now you feel really fucking good, both mentally and physically. Now it's like, well, why didn't I start this earlier? Right. But in order to get started, dude, it's about just sucking it up, buttercup, and making shit happen. Because, dude, if you're going to continue to wait on motivation, like I said, it ain't showing up on your doorstep anytime soon. You got to create that momentum for yourself to have that as leverage. And then the rest of the week just gets better, right? You get that 1 or 2 workouts in, and now you just expect it of yourself each and every time. And so, what are your thoughts on what I went through on Monday? Do you have times like that in your life, or do you have times where you're like, I just can't do it today? And what do you use to work through that? Because for me, it's just making a decision. I already know where my priorities are aligned, and I just get up and fucking go.
I don't have Monday blues per se, but I will have random times. Like I said, there's hundreds of thousands of variables for things that can go wrong, right? And there's all kind of wrenches that could get thrown into your gears on a day-to-day basis. So what I do is I try to be of the understanding, and it's something we teach some of our guys, that, you know, there are no stressful days, only stressful moments, right? So whatever it is that I deal with, I see it, I take it, I punch the air, I'm like, damn it. And then I get on with my day, because I try to take a macro perspective to see it from a, you know what I mean? Like, I have 24 hours in a day. That was a shitty 4 minutes. That's really all it was. But people let those 4 minutes just like stay in and get ingrained in their mind and just ruin their entire day. But that comes with perspective, which is a whole nother conversation, a whole other conversation that we won't cover here, because it will take forever, man. But the reality is, I'm of the mind that there are only shitty moments, not shitty days. So although there are some days that ultimately end up in a overall loss because you're not as productive as you would have hoped, it doesn't mean that I completely stop. I don't fold. I don't flop. I don't go into hiding when shit gets hard, because the reality is shit gets hard when you choose a hard life. But remember, we're front loading the hard now so that we can live a life that is much better suited to who we know we're capable of being later on. So I try to keep the big picture in mind when it comes to stuff like that, because I don't want to do the stuff we need to do more than half the time, if I'm being completely honest. But that's just what it takes. And that's the reason why most people don't choose this lifestyle. It's because they want it to be easy and comfortable. They don't want to deal with the hard stuff. They don't want to deal with the things that aren't like, that's not going to make them feel instantly gratified. They don't want to work out for like a month before they realize that they're seeing progress now. They want to go in and they want that instantaneous gratification, that instant gratification that you're talking about, the whole Amazon in a box nonsense. It's not real. It's not real. So while you were actually talking, it got my mind thinking, like, most people, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but what do you think about this? Most people operate only on 3, you know, just on 3 wavelengths, essentially, right? They're like, it's like zombie-ish, right? You do your mandatory tasks. All right. Wake up, brush your teeth, blah, 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 go to your job, you come home. You accomplish. So that's the first one. The second one is when you have your little stints of motivation, your little moments of motivation, you try to start something and then you always give up before that feeling's done, right? Or before that feeling's gone, you already give up. So that's number 2. And then everything else is filled in with escapism. Going to the bars, watching sports all day, every day, you know, watching Netflix, hanging out with friends. Oh, not available. I got to hit up the next person. Let's go out. Let's do this. Let's do that. Everybody fills in all that time where they say, I don't have time, with escapism-esque shit.
100%.
Right.
I'm guilty of it myself.
That's really what it is.
Yep.
There's only 3 things that a majority of people function. It's just their mandatory shit, tiny little bursts of motivation.
bare
the
minimum.
rest is filled with escapism. The bare minimum.
Yeah.
Correct. The bare minimum. And then they wonder why later on in life they're not where they want to be. And then they feel like they wasted so many years. Yet so many people operate like that.
It's sad, dude.
So many people operate like that. It's actually amazing to me. As you were talking, I just started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. People really do just try to use escapism to fill in their days versus 100%. Picking up a book, versus going to the gym, versus going home to cook your meal instead of being like, yeah, I don't feel like it. I'm just going to go order some shit from McDonald's with extra mayonnaise on it or something like that.
And it's like a day-to-day thing with these people, right? Like you fly by the seat of your pants kind of lifestyle. It's like, okay, well, there's always an excuse to drink, right? Like there's always an excuse. Somebody's birthday, some holiday. You can always find a reason to drink.
Always. I had a tough. If there's nothing, they'll always find a way to be like, I had a stressful day. I had a tough day. Yep. If there's no other holiday they can blame, if they can't blame somebody else, they're going to blame what happened in their life at work or school or whatever the hell it is. I hear it all the time.
And I've got no problem with people who, I got no problem with people who watch football, dude. Because I have a fucking Lions tattoo, man. Like it's not even about the football. It's like letting those types of things control, consume, and dictate your next move, right? It's like, for me, it's cool if you want to go to a football game or you want to watch that on TV, but like, is your whole week revolving around like what's gonna, who's injured for that week and what's the coach say on Monday about the loss or the win, or like keeping it, like it literally consumed my life for a while. And when I take a step back and I look at the big picture, it's all because I needed an escape, right? It's just like the guy in the DMs told me, he's like, dude, he goes, I eat, I have sex, or I drink to get my pleasure. And I'm like, dude, you're living such a miserable life. And I love how you say you're front loading it, because you can front load it now and choose the little bit more challenging situation right now, right? Like going to the gym is not easy. Eating healthy is not always easy. We make it pretty easy, but
if you're 100 pounds overweight though, going upstairs isn't easy.
Easy.
So you're still gonna, like I said, it's still gonna be hard no matter what, whether you're front loaded or not. It's just a different kind of hard. But there's nothing more embarrassing than walking up the stairs with 5 other dudes for a meeting and you're the only one with sweaty ass armpits because you have to go 2 flights of stairs. And this is a true story because I've heard this actually multiple times from people we've spoken with, man.
Yeah.
It's
here's the thing,
crazy.
dude, is like when you front load your life with comfort and you don't put yourself in uncomfortable situations, uncomfortable situations are going to find you because you're not escaping them. Nobody lives this like happy-go-lucky, comfortable life. Like there's so many billionaires out there who don't have their health that would literally trade their entire fortune to have their health back, right? And so, and we see that a lot. But the bottom line, dude, is if you front load with comfort now, dude, you're going to have misery later in the form of constant doctor visits, multiple medications, treatments, hospital admissions. I remember when I worked in the ICU, we'd call them frequent flyers. These fuckers who'd come in every other week with some other ailment because they're just a train wreck of health, right? It's like can't stay out of the hospital because they front loaded with comfort.
Terrible, man. There's nothing else to say about this except if this is a way that you live your life, let this be a wake-up call for you to disrupt the pattern. Because if you never disrupt the pattern, you are going to be in a never-ending cycle of shit until it's the end of your days and you start looking back at it and you wondered why you wasted all that time doing all that dumb shit that wasn't truly important to you. Break the cycle or you're never going to change.
Can't agree more, man. That's a great place to stop. Put a stamp on this episode. I'll tell you guys, if you're looking for a place to change, go grab our free program. Like I said, dude, thefatherhoodexperience.com/LP60. You follow that for 60 days and you will break yourself right out of the funk that we just talked about and that vicious cycle that Zach just referred to, because Zach and I live it, man. This is what we do every single day. And we talk to a lot of guys, man. And it's really sad to see the mentality of some guys just wasting their life away, man, just not getting the big picture. Like some people never get it. And that saddens me, right? But you got to be willing to help yourself. You got to believe in yourself. And so go grab our free program, connect with us, go into the show notes, come join our free group, connect with us on Instagram at the Fatherhood Experience. Go find more of our content so that we can help you, right? You don't ever have to buy a damn thing from us. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to add value to your life. And if we can do that with a free piece of content or one free podcast episode, that's why we're here. And so go get better this week, man. You guys got no excuses. We just gave you one of the deepest talks we've done in a while. And it really should hit home with a lot of you guys, man, because no matter if you got 10 pounds to lose or 110 pounds to lose, if you have untapped potential, it's time to start working on fulfilling that potential. So you guys get out there, get better this week. And we'll see you in next week's episode. Take care.